Sid Coulson, not even the worst right here. So, Tip Hayes is the 2026 version of Dijonai. Again, Tip Hayes gets into beef with Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark cooks her. And then, absolutely cooks her. Then she goes and gets on threads and starts shit-talking Caitlin. And then somebody in the thread replies something like, I've got cousins that will ride at dawn, just say the word. And it's like, it's obviously, probably a joke, but it's a threat against Caitlin. And she responds with, that's real, laughing emoji. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, you co-signed a threat. Whether the threat was real or the threat was a joke, she co-signed a threat. And now she's out here. If I send you this, it means I regret nothing. Again, Tiffany Hayes. This is not the first time Tip Hayes has done some crap like this. It's not going to be the last time either. Like, I don't think these people realize that that this isn't 2023 anymore, where you can go at players. This isn't 2023 where Sydney Coulson, who we just talked about, can make fun of Monica Zanano's appearance and basically say one of Caitlin Clark's teammates looks like a man. And then you have another person, Cindy Brunson, laughing about that. Her basically saying one of Caitlin's teammates looks like a man in Monica Zanano and get away with it. And then you've got here a player here very much implying that, you know, if I send you, this is obviously the Dijonai meme, I regret nothing. And heavily implying that, you know, Dijonai meant it. And almost co-signed the Dijonai hit. And for me, we go into this really tough situation here because what line do you draw? Like, this was acceptable in 2023. Again, insulting the appearance of a future draftee. Like, Monica Zanano was drafted in 2023. Insulting the appearance of a draftee, if you were Sid Coulson, is fine. And someone said the Ball brothers beat them junior high. Lonzo Ball was like 6'3" and like windmilling in junior high. Yeah, no shit. LaMelo Ball was the starter on the best high school team in the country. No shit. Yeah, like, that's not a knock on them. Like, it's biology. Like, they are, like, it doesn't mean they're better. But yeah, it's just, I don't even know what you do as a league. Like, the problem is that Threads is now, like, we've said this tons of times, where Threads as a whole is the old WNBA crew. It's a Caitlin Clark hate fest. If you say anything positive about Caitlin Clark, you're going to get attacked. If you hate Caitlin Clark, they're going to love you. That's what Threads is. Threads is people that are scared to post on Twitter. And these type of weird parasocial relationships with players are a huge problem, because you got players retweeting shit like this. And back in the day, players used to get in like Twitter spaces with people, and they would have relationships, not romantic relationships, but like friend relationships with random people on Twitter. Like, you would see these random people on Twitter being like celebrated by the league, and the league getting them, like, the league, giving them perks and bringing them to games. And you then look at their Twitter and they're there celebrating Sophie Cunningham. Every time Caitlin Clark gets hit, they'll celebrate. And then they're like threatening to shoot Caitlin Clark fans. And then you look through their Twitter and the WNBA has flown them out to go sit courtside at a game. And it's like, what are we doing? These players, like, even like the Asia friend situation, like that dude who, again, the guy who allegedly beat up a kid. And it's like, what are we doing now? Everything in. Steph Hurd left Caitlin for defense. Yep, she brought Lexi in, who got burned. She brought Lexi in, who got burned first possession. Thank you so much for the $5. But because of these weird parasocial relationships players have with players, they see stuff like this. They see Dijonai's tweet. And I'm sorry, like, how... It is not... Thank God Caitlin has security with her at all times. Like, if you're Sophie Cunningham, you're going to have security with you at all times. Like, thank God they're making enough money for that. But, like, the league is at a point now where there is a genuine... Especially because, as far as I'm aware, outside of our 3 arenas, nobody cares about... none of the teams really care about security. Like, we had freaking Dildo Gate last year. It is straight up a thing where this league is creeping more and more towards a fucking Monica Seles situation happening again. And it's scary. It is scary. And it's scary for Caitlin, it's scary for Sophie Cunningham, and it's scary in the opposite way as well. Because this weird divisive thing where players are making a name of being ops as an individual level. Players are making a name, in Dijonai's case, terrorizing another person in Caitlin. And they're like, oh, you know, Caitlin Clark fans bad. Caitlin Clark haters are equally bad. They're the same fucking thing. It's Stan Wars. It's Stan Wars around sports. Thank you so much for the $5. Candace Wiggins tried to expose WNBA culture in 2017. Now it's fully exposed. I mean, look, I don't know. Candace Wiggins kind of took back her comments pretty quickly. But either way, like, I'm getting scared, and I think players need to... I think this needs... Tiffany Hayes, at this point in time, has tweeted and reposted enough shit that the best way of saying it is her reposts have heavily implied that she is okay with violence towards Indiana Fever players. Her reposts and responses have implied that she is okay with violence towards Fever players. That is the lightest way of looking at that. But the league needs to put in social media policy for next year. They simply the Jedi Council. The Jedi Council has to do it. They have to do it for the safety of their players. Because at the end of the day, they all talk about all this inclusion and all everything. But I'm sorry, player safety means more than any of that. Player safety means more than social justice. And there are certain players that are directly cause of this. The shit that people accuse Caitlin Clark of doing, the likes of Tiffany Hayes and Dijonai, are doing that. They are inciting hate towards people. They're not doing it because silence is compliance. They are actively doing it. So, I don't know. The league's obviously not going to suspend him. The league's not doing anything this year. There has to be a social media policy introduced next year. There has to be. There has to be a policy, and it's like, look, if you break this policy, like, you're suspended. Because this shit's bringing the league into disrepute. And not only is it bringing the league into disrepute, we cannot forget, like, as somebody, again, who tennis was my first sport till I was 14, 15 years old, till I made the national basketball team, tennis was my first sport. I know, obviously, the Monica Seles situation is one of the things when you're 8 years old looking on YouTube for the first time, you're looking at every single clip of the sport you play, the Monica Seles video is something that, like, an 8-year-old Mick put himself through. But it was one of the scariest moments in sports, and the league is heading that way. And I'm not saying if something happens, Tiffany Hayes is the cause. I'm saying that as a whole in this league, a complete reckless reposts and reckless tweeting in regards to either encouraging violence against certain people or justifying violence against certain people, and not some bullshit silence is compliance, actually implying, like tweets that absolutely imply that violence against certain people is okay, or that imply you're encouraging violence against certain people. There has to be punishments about that, because that goes so far past just, freedom of speech and all this stuff. No, that's not only bringing people in disrepute, because all it takes is one nut job, and there's a lot of nut jobs in this world. All it takes is one crazy person to see this, and it's, again, something bad's going to happen.